So, in the autumn of 2022, the International Union of Geological Sciences created a list of global top 100 geosites. This is one of them. We're on the island of Anglesey in North Wales, and the outcrops over there are one of the world's top geosites for tectonic. So let's go and see what we can find over there. We're visiting the global type locality for a geological formation known as Melange. That's derived from the French for mixture. So it's here that these types of rocks were first described, but their origins are controversial. So this is Anglesey. Its dramatic coastline holds many great geological outcrops, including Ynys Island. At low tide, it connects to the mainland Anglesey itself, but while we wait for the water to fall, we can check out these green outcrops. These faces are massive and not very informative, so let's scout around. So these are pillow basalts. You can see they've got these rounded or pillowy shapes. In fact, if you look on the side, they're tubes, but cut them through and they look like sort of nested pillow shapes. These are basalts that are lavas that were erupted underwater, and their chemical composition reveals that they were erupted at a constructive plate boundary, a mid-ocean ridge. So these are part of an ancient ocean floor. So that's the first part of our story here. Really nice pillow basalts. Now let's see what else we can find if we scoop about some of the other outcrops here, because it's not just all basalt. The basalts continue onto Ynys LLanddwyn, but it's not just the rocks that make the place important. This is a place of pilgrimage to the shrine of Dwynwen, the Welsh patron saint of lovers. But there are also some great and curious outcrops, the best of which lie along the shoreline. The geology here consists of large blocks of various shapes and sizes, encased in slates, mud rocks and cherty mud rocks. They form a geological unit called the Gwynna Group, seen here on sea cliffs on the nearby Llain Peninsula. The Gwynna Group is Cambrian in age, at a time when Anglesey lay on a plate boundary on the northern side of the microcontinent of Avalonia. These rather strange rocks were first described by the pioneering geologist Edward Greenlee, and it was he who coined the term Melange back in 1919 in his classic description of the geology of Anglesey. Let's take a closer look. We can see the red cherty mudstones at the bottom of the outcrop. But much of this little cliff shows blocks and boulders cut by streaky veins, typical Melange. So it shows the really chaotic nature of these outcrops. They're all mixed together, a jumble of different material. But rocks like this have a controversial explanation. Is the fragmentary character of these rocks intimately related to the deformation, and so
Are these essentially a fault zone? Or are they debrites, the products of debris flows, massive submarine avalanches, and that the deformation is entirely separate and later? Let's collect some observations. So this is a boulder bed. The clasts are rounded. It all looks pretty sedimentary to me.
So this shows we're dealing with sedimentary processes here. We've got a red mudstone with blocks of various sizes in here. And perhaps some of these strange lumps of outcrop in here are actually rafts, larger blocks, all encased in this red mudstone.
But it's not just boulder beds here.
You can see these sort of sandstone beds have been sort of pulled apart and they've sort of got gloopy shapes. So there's a lot of dismemberment while this material was only partly lithified, slops about by collapse processes.
So soft sediment deformation. This happens when the sediment is not yet a rock, so it's happened on the ancient seabed, not in some deeper fault zone. When faced with rocks like this, it's tempting to link their fragmentary nature to the undoubted deformation they display, but this is a leap of faith, and in my mind, is actually a false step. We're looking at debrites, probably the products of many submarine landslides that have then been caught up in later deformation. These great outcrops at LLanddwyn certainly stimulate debate. And in this regard, they're typical of many Melange sections around the world. Well worth a visit.